What is up? Welcome back to another NFL rundown brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. Tyler and I, we knocked out the NBA about an hour and a half ago. I took a quick walk around the neighborhood. Tyler got a quick trim. We got our minds right, transformed, like Optimus Prime in the 80s, and we are now ready to break down the NFL. Tyler, got some duds, but we got some good games this week. Any overall thoughts on the NFL card this weekend before we jump in game by game?
I mean, we'll break them down one by one. Nothing overall. I haven't really went over the slate yet to give you an overall general statement, so we'll just go give my game.
All right, let's jump right in. So I just told you this one got pulled off my board, but you're saying that you see a Lions +3 there on was that FanDuel that you found it on?
Yeah, DraftKings, but they're
so DraftKings has got a +3. Okay, so they got a +3. This was 4.5 earlier today. Do you think this means that we have news on Jared Goff?
I mean, it could be. It could be also the news that they're firing Nagy after the game.
Oh, that was the other one I saw when I was going over everything right before we fired up the show. What do you believe in that report? Obviously, it's that sources say, but it's a logical conclusion, right, to come to. Do you think that report is true?
Yeah, I mean, you got to get rid of him eventually. I just don't know why you're letting him coach out one more game. Maybe it's just because of the short week, but why do you let the report come out that he's gone? Like, you shouldn't let him know that until after the game.
Well, I mean, maybe they knew because
maybe they want him to give him one last hoorah and go out there and get him a W. Like, fight your life off, see if you can keep your job, but you're losing it anyway.
It doesn't seem like the players will really be fired up to play for him, obviously, or they would have done something sooner. And makes sense, right? Because I don't think they have a bye left, so this gives the new coach at least 10 days to try and switch things. But obviously, a very disappointing season in Chicago. Regardless of who the Bears quarterback is, though, wouldn't you say that the Lions season is even more disappointing? I mean, do you think they get their first win here?
I don't think so, because Andy Dalton's going to start for the Bears. So unless Goff is back for the Lions, I don't think they have a chance in this one. I mean, the Bears defense is still pretty solid. They should be able to limit them. And Detroit gets ran all over on, so this could be a big David Montgomery game.
Yeah, I mean, we were down on Fields, not being starting, but we were thinking from a developmental aspect, right? That like, hey, Dalton's not the answer. You're not going to win it all this year. Might as well develop the kid and give him some reps and some experience. But you could be argued that Dalton helps you win a little bit more now, which maybe is why Nagy, knowing he's on the hot seat, chose to go with Dalton to start the season. So I like the Bears regardless of who starts. And, if it's Blau or whatever, or who is it? I'm sorry. Boyle. Blau was last year, right?
Yeah, David Blau.
Yeah, and now we got Tim Boyle, who was absolutely terrible, right? So Jared Goff's job is safe. I like it either way. I'll lay the 4.5 against Boyle, or I'll lay the 3 against Goff. What are your thoughts on the total? I don't have a total up, so you're going to have to give me the number.
Now, I probably lean over just because.
What's the number you have?
40. That just seems like it's 41. So, I mean, they could fall right into that. Like, that just seems way too low. You get a couple touchdowns in the first quarter. I mean, you're sitting good. So, I'm probably lean over.
All right. So, Tyler likes the over, and we both like the Bears here. The next game, Tyler, you really think my favorite team's live? My favorite team, the Las Vegas Raiders, who are an absolute free fall. I can't figure out which way is up. They're playing a Dallas Cowboys team who is coming off a big loss, right? As a Raiders fan, hey, I wanted the Cowboys to put it on the Chiefs on Sunday, win by 30, have everybody in ESPN and all those people tell them how great they were, right? And roll into this game overconfident. I think as a Raiders fan, or if you are planning on backing the Raiders, worst case scenario of this coming off a shellacking. So Schefter yesterday said CeeDee Lamb's out. Jerry Jones says that he might play on the radio today, but I think what's even more important is Tyron Smith might play as well. That will be something to wait for. If Smith is in, man, I think the Cowboys cover, but I think you're on the opposite side here.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see where you're going to put the ball to outside of giving it to Tony Pollard the whole game and maybe a banged up Zeke, because I'm not sure that ankle's going to be all right. He's probably going to play, but I don't think he's going to be 100%. No Cooper was big on Sunday. We seen that. They kind of bracketed CeeDee Lamb for the most part, and then he got a concussion. So I don't think he's going to play on Thursday either. I think the guys behind those two are drastic drop-offs. Noah Brown's a bum. Cedric Wilson could barely catch the ball.
He was getting open too.
Yeah, he's getting open, but he can't catch it. So it's just Gallup at this point. So
Yeah, I'm like, the
it's
guy's running
Gallup,
good
Dalton
routes.
Schultz, and
Yeah.
Tony Pollard and a banged up Zeke.
Mhm.
So if Vegas can get out of their own way here, they should be able to put points on the board. And we seen Chris Jones and them guys get to Dak last game 5 times and sack him.
Mhm.
Max Crosby and Ngakoue should have had the same effect here. They should just be able to push these guys around and get to him.
All right. Well, I'm glad someone has confidence in the Raiders, because I sure don't. Very, very tough situation to be a Raiders fan, right? I mean, this happens every year where they get their hopes up. At least this year, I guess we can say we have a reason for them falling off the face of the earth.
We
And our
haven't
guy,
hit that. We always hit that point in the year spread where they're like, "What's wrong with the Cowboys?" We haven't hit that point yet. When they lose this game to the Raiders on Thursday, that's all you're going to hear on ESPN for the rest of the week.
I love it. I mean, I would love for that to happen. I mean, I really hope you're right. And our guy ATF Media says, "I'm so glad I drafted Henry Ruggs instead of Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb in my fantasy league." And hey, as a Raiders fan, I'm so glad they drafted Henry Ruggs instead of Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb in real life, because they left both those guys on the board to get great value Tyreek Hill. Unbelievable. Anyways, obviously pretty disappointed there in the way that the Las Vegas Raiders season is going. I'm sorry, we didn't touch on the total. It's 51. What do you think?
I probably lean under, just because I don't think the Cowboys offense is as high powered without the receivers. Like, they're not just going to be driving the ball down the field really quickly and getting these touchdowns. It's going to be more on the run game. And I don't think the Raiders are going to be flying up and down the field either and putting points on the board. So I could see this being like a 24-21 game.
Okay. Yeah. And I, hey, I thought the Cowboys were going to put up a bunch of points last week, and that was not the case. I mean, that under was dead by the middle of the second quarter, right? Yeah. I mean, I need one of those Chiefs Chargers. Chiefs or Chargers Steelers fourth quarters to get that one home, and that was not evident there. And a game that I thought was going to be so high scoring, and just both offenses, but particularly the Cowboys, just fell on their face. Like I said, they were getting open; they just couldn't catch the ball. I thought Dak even did a good job of delivering those throws, so didn't downgrade his performance at all. I thought that it was definitely a downgrade of the receivers. The Buffalo Bills are now out to 6 against the New Orleans Saints. And Tyler, this is because of the news that both Kamara and Ingram missed practice today. Same deal with the Bills, right? Coming off a tough loss, right? They're not rolling into this one overconfident. They got smacked around the field by the Indianapolis Colts. And I would have said, okay, well, how did they do it? They ran the ball. I don't know, without Kamara and Ingram, can the Saints do that here? What are your thoughts on this game? I'm kind of hesitant to get involved right now. I think this is a tough game to call at the current line.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting involved yet. I need to know if Tremaine Edmonds is going to be in for the Bills on defense, because he was out last game. That's a big key for them.
Okay.
If he's out, just give me the under in this game, because the Saints really have no offense push here. Like, they're not going to be able to run the ball down their throat with what running back? And Simeon's not going to air it out and throw for 350 yards here and like 5 touchdowns. Their defense is good enough to limit Josh Allen, who's stumbling along now. So I like the under 45 here. But as for a side, I'm staying away until I get more news.
All right. Under 40. And it's 45.5 there at Bookmaker. Not a surprise that the night game will take money. So if we like that under, right, we can wait to play it, right? Probably get steamed up just by everybody enjoying their dinner, having some drinks, eating some turkey, drink some wild turkey, and then betting over on the evening game. Maybe we can find value on the under there.
I'm reading here, it says linebacker Tremaine Edmonds was a full participant in practice on Monday. So he's
you like
probably
the Bills
going to
then,
play.
Huh?
Yeah.
You like that lay the 6?
Nah, I'd lean towards the 6. I'm not just going to auto bet it.
All right. Well, let's wait, because I do think the Saints take money there at 6.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Even with Simeon out there, Bills coming off a tough performance. Saints are at home, right? So definitely a big advantage for that team there. All right. Any props for that game, Tyler?
Nothing for that game yet. There's not even anything up. The only props I have up are David Montgomery props for the Chicago game.
Oh, wow. Well,
they have no props listed for the other games yet with all the injury news.
Who isn't beating down the door to bet those? Let's jump on to Sunday. This is a great game. So remember I told you there's a lot of bombers? I think this is fascinating. Even though it's a bigger spread, I still think it's a fascinating game. The Tennessee Titans, fresh off a loss, right? But they only lose to bad teams, right? They beat all the good teams and they lose to the Jets. They lose to the Texans, right? I mean, they're playing a good team this week. That's usually bode well for this team in the past. The Patriots, of course, hottest team in football right now. I was driving around this morning. Jay, you would hate this, but listening to the local radio and who's the guy, Mike from Mike and Mike, talking about Patriots are his choice to win the AFC Super Bowl. And I said, okay, this is the new hot team. This is the new flavor of the week to win the AFC. But who knows? He could be right here. I like the Titans plus the 6.5. But Tyler, maybe last week was the week that they ran out of gas, playing above their head, in the clouds, so to speak. What are your thoughts on this game? Are you liking the Titans or the Patriots at plus 6.5?
We always say Belichick takes the best player away from your offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's he taking away here? A.J. Brown, who's half hurt anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He's just going to force them to try and run the ball. They can't because they don't really have a running game. Tannehill threw 4 picks last game. I don't think he throws 4 here, but I think he does turn over the ball a few times. They're going to force him into some bad spots. I just don't see their path to victory here unless New England just stumbles over their own feet and just hands them the game. They're going to be able to run on this Tennessee defense. Mac Jones doesn't have to be perfect to win this one. I just think you tease them down to 1, and they win the game outright here.
And we teased the Patriots last week.
They got a tough 3 games after this spread. They need to win this one if they want any chance at that division. They go to Buffalo.
The Patriots.
The Patriots. They go to Buffalo after this, come home, play the Colts, and then they go to Buffalo, go to Indy, and then they come home and play Buffalo a second time.
Wow, so we will know a lot about this team in the next 3 weeks. Tyler, your turkey will probably be braised golden brown as you're enjoying it on Thursday. What about some golden Tate here for the Titans? How do you think that addition helps the team?
I mean, I got to see how much he's going to play first. We got to see if he's just going to be like a deep target guy, if he's actually going to get a lot of targets. He might just be a practice squad guy. I mean, we've seen Anthony Miller get signed by the Steelers, and everyone thought he was going to slide in to Juju's spot in the slot. The guy hasn't played 1 snap yet.
Yeah.
So I think it could be one of those cases, just a wait and see approach with him.
Yeah, it'd be one of those things. But hopefully, unlike Deshaun Jackson, if he does make a catch, he will remember which way to run. Let's move on to the next game. Oh, I don't have a line. You're going to have to help me out. This got taken off the board, but it was 3.5 when I looked earlier. I'm talking about the New York Jets, who are heading to Houston to take on the Texans. If I remember right, the Texans were laying the 3.5, right? Now we got news that Zach Wilson will start. Does that even change the line?
It's down to 2.5. That's it. It's only moved 1 point.
Is that even warranted? What do you think?
Give me the Jets.
Really?
Yep.
Letdown spot for the Titans coming up. I mean, the Texans coming off their big win.
Yeah, I mean, big win. They kind of fell into that win. Like Tennessee kind of gifted it to them. All the turnovers, the short fields, they kicked a ton of field goals. Tyrod had to run the 2 touchdowns in himself.
Wow.
The Jets defense has played, I'm not going to say they're solid, but they've played pretty well this year outside of a couple of games against the Patriots, which they always get dominated in. They get pressure on him here. Zach Wilson makes a couple nice throws and a couple touchdowns to Elijah Moore, Corey Davis. I think they easily win this game at plus 120.
Wow. All right. I was completely ready to stay away from this game, but Tyler has found an edge. Why I love doing the NFL rundown with Tyler Hicks every Tuesday, brought to you by Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. If you're not a member of RunPureBets.com, please head on over, check it out. Use the promo code BETS25 off to get 25% off your first month as a member. Get access to the live shows, all the plays, and of course the Discord. Even if Tyler and I are not in there, there's plenty of other like-minded handicappers that are sharp, smart, and can help you. I mean, I go in there, right? Guys are just giving out winners left and right. I think the new thing in the NBA chat, right, is to just become the prop guru, right? Tyler and I just sit there, and these kids are just giving out props left and right. So please head on over to runpurebets.com, check it out. And hey, while you're at it, give a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends. Philadelphia Eagles are down to -3.
I just want to touch on one last thing in that game before we move on.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Just looking at this game log for Zach Wilson, started the year with Carolina. Carolina's defense is pretty tough. 20 for 37, 260 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. The next game he goes and plays New England. We all know what New England does to the Jets and rookie quarterbacks. He throws his 4-pick game. Everyone wanted to throw him under the bus. Then he goes to Denver in the altitude against another defense that was solid at that point, with still Bradley Chubb on the field.
Right.
There's another 2 picks, 19 for 35. Then you got a soft Tennessee defense, and that's where he had the 21 for 34, 300 yards, 2 touchdown, 1 pick game. Flies all the way to London, has jet lag, plays the Atlanta game. Neither team looked good in that game. Plays New England again, they beat them up, they hurt them, and we haven't seen them since. This is probably going to be the softest defense he's seen. If he's 100%, I think he's going to have a great game.
And I don't think they're going to throw him out there if he's not 100%, right? It's not like there's any reason to rush him back. It's not like a playoff spot.
Like, that's a tough schedule for any rookie quarterback to start with those defenses. And then a London game on top of that. 2 New England matchups, Carolina and Denver. And his one bright spot's a Tennessee defense that he actually beat straight up in the game.
Right.
Yeah. Give me New York on Sunday.
All right, Tyler taking a stand. You know, I love it when people take terrible teams because as hard as it is to do, that's the way you win the NFL. As we've seen, the favorites had a nice little run for the first 4 weeks, but we've seen in the last 4 weeks, these are professional football teams. And what was that great movie? Any Given Sunday. The Philadelphia Eagles -3 heading to New York to take on the Giants. I do not think this will be the Giants Any Given Sunday. I like the Eagles here. I think the coaching is about a wash with Sirianni.
Can we insert the Jimmy Butler ball it up, throw it over the shoulder gif? Because I can't bet on either of these teams spread.
See, that's how I felt about the last game, but I love the Eagles here. This Giants team is absolutely terrible.
I agree with you, but this would be the one time I'd back this Eagles team thinking like, oh, this is the game they're going to run it down their throat. They've done it the past 4 weeks. This is the game they're going to go air raid and throw Jalen Hurts out there. So I'm staying away from it. They should win.
Why do you think they're going to do that?
It's just what Philly does to me if I bet them. I just can't bet them. So I'm staying away from this game solely. Philly's probably the right side, but I'm not telling you to bet it because my luck, then they'll try and throw the ball 50 times.
That's fine, Tyler. You took a terrible team the last game. I'll jump in. I'll take one for the team, and I'll go ahead and bet a terrible team too, even though the terrible team I'm betting is favored. But, dude, this New York Giants team is terrible. And I actually think that Freddie Kitchens will be an upgrader as a play caller. I think he's okay as an offensive coordinator. Just because you're not a good head coach doesn't mean you can't call plays. Head coaching and offensive coordinating are 2 completely different skill sets. You don't really need to have like a leadership style personality to be a good OC, right? Adam Gase showed that, right? We've seen plenty of guys that can call plays and dial stuff up that just can't be leaders. There's difference between dialing up plays and holding players accountable, developing them, setting up practice schedules, setting up the tempo of your practice, right? There's just so many things that go into being a head coach that a coordinator does not have to worry about. That being said, he doesn't really have much to work with. I mean, I think the Daniel, have you seen that meme, Tyler, where like Homer Simpson is going back into the bushes?
Yeah.
That's everybody who ever supported Daniel Jones these last 2 years, right? I mean, it's just, I just don't see how you can do it anymore, right? I mean, this is what, his 3rd year?
Yeah. It's going to be his
third. Does he look any better? Does he look
No.
any better? No.
I'm going back and look at that draft class to see who they could have got ahead of him or instead
No one?
of him.
Dwayne Haskins went next.
Well, that's bad.
Yeah. And then I can't remember if there was any late rounds in that one, but I don't think there was anyone that year. And I think this year's like that too, which is why, I think Seattle brought Russ back one more year and said, let's be really bad the year after that. Regardless, man, this is really more just a fate of the Giants. And I think this Eagles team is heading in the right direction. I just think that Dave Gettleman did a terrible job assembling this roster. You have a bad quarterback.
You
and a bad
weren't lying
offensive
when
line.
you said there was nobody behind him. Quarterbacks drafted after Daniel Jones in that class. Haskins. Where'd he go? Drew Lock. Ryan
Terrible.
Finley.
He got like one start in Arizona, right?
Will Greer.
I thought he was going to be good.
Jared
He's
Stidham.
terrible.
Yeah, this was a terrible.
Stidham is Stidham the one that went to New England and was like in waiting for like 3 years. And
everyone thought like this was the kid at Auburn that had the nice arm. They're like, maybe
Yeah.
Belichick knows something we don't. He goes out, throws a pick 6 on his first try. He's like, you're never going out there again.
Yeah. Well, he's like, the one thing I told you, don't turn the ball over.
Yep. He's like, you did it your first try and it turned.
You broke
7.
the one rule. All right. Enough talk of terrible teams. Let's get into some football teams that will actually be playing in January. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are -3 on the road to the Colts, who are coming off. What a performance, right? Not the fact that they covered the spread, not even the fact that they won, but the manner and they beat the Buffalo Bills, who a lot of people had power ranked as the top team in the AFC. You got to get this team credit, man. And you know what they do? They run the football. They have the best offensive line right now, I would say, in the NFL with Dallas, having some injuries. So right now they have the best offensive line. And you know why I think that running the ball is so important, right? We see all these teams, they're putting up W's with less than 200 yards passing, right? Like, I don't think Wentz had a lot. I don't think we talked about Hurts earlier. I don't think he had a lot in his win, right? There's a lot of wins with less than 200 yards. So here's my theory, Tyler. Linebackers have to cover now, right? So all these linebackers are essentially like what would have been safeties. And then the issue is these guys cannot cover. Go ahead and talk about this game, Tyler. Give me one.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this game, I'd probably lean right to the over. It's inside a dome. The Colts defense is a little bit better, but Tampa Bay's defense has been banged up. I see Vita Vea still on the injury report. If he plays, maybe they slow the run down a bit. But outside of that, Antonio Brown being back definitely would help their offense. The side is much -3 on the Bucs. I can't really get behind that because they've shown some spots where they're going to lay duds, and the defense is still suspect. So they could get ran all over like the Bills did last week. But that total 51 sticks out to me. I mean, I think both these teams get into the 30-point range. So nothing on the side for me, but that over 51.5, I think, is money.
All right, I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this. Bear with me, guys. My bathroom was getting remodeled, and they needed me real quick. So, but basically, quickly, you said that nothing for you on the side, but you like the over here, and I see a 52, so the market
I'll give you like the quick little breakdown so you got to watch it back. Just basically, it's in the dome. Vita Vea still might not play. He's the run stopper for Tampa Bay. If he plays, maybe it slows down the game in Tampa's favor a bit. AB was doubtful for this past game. Could be back this week. Just give me the over inside the dome with these two offenses.
All right, I like it. And I want to see how well this Indianapolis team is able to run the ball against the Buccaneers team, which, when healthy, I believe, has the best run defense in the NFL. Boy, that was too bad, Tyler. I didn't get to hear it all because that was our time to actually talk about a game between two good teams. Let's go back to the bad teams versus the bad teams. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are -3. I'm sorry. The Atlanta Falcons are a pick.
I was like, is my brain like just rewinding there?
Yes. That's my mistake, guys. Thank you for bearing with me here. And this is the fun of doing a live show, right? We can't stop and record over that. Let's try this again. Let's go to the next game. The Atlanta Falcons are a pick in Jacksonville against the Jaguars. Maybe can this be the crumple up and throw it out game? How can you back either of these teams? Tyler,
give me Jacksonville. You want to know why? One reason only. They're getting pressure to the quarterback, and this offensive line for Atlanta stinks. They're going to be all over him all game. If Jacksonville can score 17 points here, they should be fine to win this game.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, obviously Atlanta's still struggling with the loss of Calvin Ridley. Cordell Patterson was kind of quiet the last week. How do you think he does in this game?
Well, he was out last game, I'm pretty sure, on that Thursday night.
No wonder I didn't hear about him.
Yeah, he was like late. He was supposed to play, and then up at close to game time, they were like, "Yeah, we're not going to do it. It's like we're not going to make the playoffs. Why kill you out there?" So,
will he be here?
Is he playing? Yeah, he should be back for this game.
And that's not a concern for you when back in the Jaguars?
I mean, not really. I think they could still win the game. Like, unless he dumps off and breaks a couple for touchdowns, I just think there's a better chance that Josh Allen and that pass rush is all over Matt Ryan. And if they can create some short field positions, Trevor Lawrence and them guys should be able to put points on the board.
All right, let's ask a question, ATF. So this is more for you, Tyler. You're more of a prop guy. Is there an over-under on total incomplete passes in the game? And he's talking about Jacksonville and Atlanta, of course. Can you find those? It seems like you could.
You could just same game parlay both are under completions probably.
Oh, that's a way to go. Okay, cool.
That's probably the only way to approach that. Like, you're not going to get a set number on that, but if you just took both their unders on their completions, it's probably the best way to do that.
Tyler, can you imagine if you had the NFL ticket and you sat down and you only had one TV and you decided to watch this game out of all the games going on? I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, and I know it'll never happen, and it's actually not feasible, right? So this is just a joke, but I mean, it shouldn't be like The Bachelor in these reality shows. Like, let's start eliminating teams at this point of the year, right? Let's just send them home, right? Like,
we should do the Survivor thing where, like, you send a guy into the little group, like 30 guys go in. And
let's start getting rid of them week by week. We don't need to watch these teams anymore. Let them practice against each other or something. But
how quick would they vote out New England, though, just because they're hated around the league?
I know. See, maybe we are into something here, Tyler. The Carolina Panthers are -2.5, headed to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Panthers, of course, boy, I really liked them last week. They were not able to get it done against Washington. And then there's something weird about Cam, man. Like, he didn't even like really seem upset about the loss. So I guess he
He's
is
just
happy
happy
to
to
be
be
back in the
playing
league.
football. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I didn't really know what to make of it. What did you make of it? I don't know. I was a little discouraged. I thought that he should maybe be. I because he's wearing those weird outfits too, and I'm just.
I think
old.
it's also the thing where like you take the loss. Like I'm a sore loser when I lose, so like any loss to
Yeah,
me hurts. When you lose to your former coach that's had cancer and you probably talked to him throughout the whole treatment and stuff, like you're
yeah.
probably just like, yeah, like that's fine, we lost, but he won. So like in the end, it's like, oh well, like good for him.
Okay.
So
So you
I
don't
could see
really think
that
it's a
being
big
like
deal that
the
he wasn't really bothered by the loss.
yeah, I could see that being the reason why. Now, if it was just some random team or Ron Rivera wasn't coaching and he was still like this, then it would worry me. Like if they lose again this week and he's just like, then I think it's something to keep note of. But with Ron Rivera on the other side and all the stuff that's happened with those two guys, I don't take much of that into effect.
Yeah, and I mean it's a whole new generation, but if I was, I was in my 20s, right, and I was on a team like that, and my team
You
leaders
guys
like
went to the
spending
Super
all
Bowl
that time.
together. Like,
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, let's just say I'm like a Panthers teammate, right, and I see the guy spending a half hour putting a silly outfit on to go talk to the media after a loss. Like, I don't know. That would just rub me the wrong way. Obviously, it doesn't rub these other guys the wrong way, and that's why I'm old and it's a new generation. But that would really bother me. Regardless, I like the Panthers here. I mean, do you want to bet on Miami? The total's 42. I mean, maybe you go under. What do you think of this game, Tyler? And am I missing a Miami team that bounced back with a win over the Jets?
no, I mean, I like the under call here at 42.5.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had to pick a side, it'd probably be the Carolina side for the same reason the last game. Miami's offensive line stinks just like Atlanta's. Carolina's going to get pressure on Tua. He's going to make some mistakes. They got to build that offensive line in the offseason, but for this game, Carolina should win it pretty easily. I think McCaffrey's going to have his way with this defense too.
And I talked about small coverage linebackers earlier, and I think Miami does have those guys. I think Cam, if he gets to that second level,
Good luck.
could get a lot of. I mean, he's not going to like break a lot of runs, but a lot of 7, a lot of 8, a lot of 12-yard gains. That can be huge for an offense there. So I like the Panthers there. I don't know if I'll actually bet it though. I think we can find better spots here. Here's one that I like, Tyler, but I can't wait to hear your thoughts because this is your hometown team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, +4. Heading to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. The Bengals laying 4. What a wild world where the Bengals are laying it to the Steelers, even at home. Total 45.5. The Steelers kept it close last week, man. I thought the Chargers were going to just run all over them. Felt pretty smart at 27-10 going in the fourth, right? Not so fast. The Chargers, as usual, they charge. They find new inventive
They
ways to
lost
blow
a couple
leads.
guys on the defense and their defense late in that game.
I
And
know,
I think
but still.
that's just what opened up the floodgates.
Yeah, but they couldn't get the ball moving on the ground and control the clock either. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into a blowing a lead like that. But they got it done. All that matters is the record. They don't care about the against the spread loss like I do. So they get it done. But I'm ready for the Steelers to keep it close again. What do you think, Tyler? Am I overvaluing a team that's not as good on the road?
I think this is a wait and see spot. I mean,
Okay, what are we waiting for?
Ben does stink on the road. We might not
does.
have Watt again, and we might not have Minkah Fitzpatrick again. So you got to wait for those news reports. Minkah was COVID related, so he's probably could be back. But TJ Watt's dealing with a hip injury and that knee injury. They haven't been real specific on how bad those injuries are. Mm-hmm. They just said he's week to week. I personally think that's a bad injury, and they're kind of holding out hope he can play again this year. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he's going to play this game. If he doesn't play, give me the over 45.5. Because since he's just going to be able to work the ball up and down the field, and their defense has regressed enough to where I think Big Ben and them guys could put points on the board.
What do you think of Najee Harris in that Sunday night game? I thought he looked a little better. He doesn't get any blocking, though. Seriously.
Zero blocking. Like, me and you could do a better job than those 5 linemen.
Yeah,
it just be me and you out there.
Yeah, I mean, even Saquon Barkley's not the same. But remember his first year, and he was making so much stuff happen behind the line of scrimmage. And, and he still was only averaging 3 yards a carry because he was just getting no blocking at all. That's what I see from Najee. I mean, I think that guy's got like Jonathan Taylor potential if he had that line, right? I mean, probably one of the worst lines in the league for run blocking.
I think we touched on before, Spread. They drafted a blocking tight end over an all-pro center.
Yeah.
They could have had Creed Humphrey in the middle right here, and then one of your spots is filled for the next 12 years.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like they would understand after having a Marquise Pouncey how important center is, but whatever. I mean, hey, you know what? This is a great organization that makes great decisions, though. As a Raiders fan, I can't say anything bad about the Steelers ever. I remember when we were rivals. This was like before I was born. Now the Steelers are obviously the class of the NFL, and the Raiders are the trash of the NFL.
They're not the class of the NFL anymore, spread. They're just hanging around in the middle.
That's true. That's true. They're not. I'd say the Patriots right now.
They won a Super Bowl since I was in like 8th grade.
Yeah, that's cool. The Raiders won a Super Bowl when I was in 3rd grade, and I'm 20 years older than you.
Didn't the Raiders win one in like early 2000?
No, they lost because don't you remember their center went AWOL in Tijuana and like went on a huge drinking binge and didn't show up, and then they played against Gruden, and Gruden their coach was so stupid he didn't change the audibles. So they literally knew the audibles.
Putting the combination together. I'm thinking Gruden, Super Bowl, and Raiders. I'm thinking they all happened at the same time.
No, it didn't. It did. I remember my buddy was a Buccaneers fan, and we had bet the game, and I left the party, and I was so pissed. And we weren't at the same parties, and I stopped by, and that was back when I still smoked, and I'm like picking up a pack of blunts. And I see him in the store, and I'm like, oh, you're the last person I want to see right now. Like, I remember I was so livid. Not the fact, I mean, obviously it sucks to lose, but to get embarrassed just sucks. When you leave the party at halftime, it's just no fun. Let's move on to the next game. Hopefully this game will be fun. The Los Angeles Chargers are -3, heading to Denver to take on the Broncos. The Broncos +3. The total is 47. Why is this line 3? Just because the Chargers blow leads?
That it's in Denver.
Okay.
Denver should be able to. Denver's got a 2-headed monster in the backfield. Okay. And the Chargers' running defense stinks. They should be able to pound
that's a good
right
point.
down their throat.
That's a good point.
Denver slowed down the pass this year pretty well. Like Mike Williams and Keenan Allen might not have great games. So, I mean, small lean to the Denver side.
Really?
Yeah.
I love the Chargers here.
I'm not 100% sold on them. I mean, I can't love them after what I seen in that 4th quarter where they let a stagnant offense for 3.5 quarters just wake up and hang 27.
Okay, you make a great point there.
Like Teddy Bridgewater's not like an elite quarterback, but I don't think he's going to sleepwalk 3.5 quarters. Like,
and at this point, him and Ben are about the same, right? Because Ben is like,
I'd take Teddy Bridgewater 10 times out of 10 over Ben right now.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
At least Teddy can move. Like like he might not like win you a Super Bowl, but he's mobile. He's not just going to get murdered in the pocket if his offensive line collapses. So give me Teddy over Ben.
Wow. Okay. Well, I like the Chargers here. You like the Broncos, but you might have just kept me off this game because I definitely don't want to go against you. You've been real sharp here, and laying 3 on the road in a divisional game's probably I know better than that. I know better than that.
A couple times, but he did come back to form when he was a 10-point dog. He won outright.
Yeah, I mean, that's where he thrives. So 3-point dog. Let's see if he gets it done. Minnesota Vikings +3, heading to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. The 49ers -3 coming off. They're looking pretty good as of late. They had the win over the Rams, which was huge. They did not let down against the Jaguars as they absolutely crushed them. Now they get a tough test. Tyler, I've underestimated Minnesota too many times. Give me the Vikings. What do you think?
Give me the Niners for a couple reasons.
All right, let's hear them.
I think they always get up for the Packers games. The Vikings do.
Right.
It's going to sound like a hot take. Justin Jefferson's due for not a dud of a game, but he's got to slow down eventually. Like, he's not just going to keep posting these ridiculous numbers week in and week out. That's a pretty bad secondary, though. But even we seen Devontae Adams last year when he was hanging 3 touchdowns a game. Mm-hmm. They had these couple games in between where it's like, oh, maybe he got banged up in the game. It's like, no, he just didn't get as many targets as he wanted. So this game rubbed me as.
But the difference is, it's so easy to target Devontae Adams. Where like Adam Thielen on the other side, I think it makes it hard to just focus your whole defense on one guy. Where I think against Green Bay, you can do that a little easier. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it's a bit, but I think San Fran's going to have pressure on Kirk Cousins too. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he's going to have as much time to throw the ball as he did last week. Like Nick Bosa and them guys are going to be in that backfield chasing him around. Mm-hmm. They should be able to run on this Vikings defense too. And it's not a 1:00 game. This is going to throw Kirk Cousins a curveball like it always does. It's not prime time, but it throws him out of his rhythm. So he's going to turn the ball over in this game. He's going to have some mistakes. Give me San Fran. They're going to win this game outright.
Wow. Okay. We are on the opposite sides again. Tyler Skip Bayless would think that this is a great show. The Los Angeles Rams are +1 heading to Green Bay to take on the Packers. The Rams on a bit of a skid, but they had the bye last week, right? So they had an extra week to prepare. And what's obviously going to be a huge game for them. The Packers coming off that close loss that you recently alluded to against the Vikings, 34-31. I thought Rodgers played good. And there was the controversial interception call, right? So that game could have gone either way. I thought the big story of the game, and we talked about this yesterday with Mr. Titletown, was that the Green Bay defense. Hey, we don't downgrade them, right? But we were ready to elevate them into the elite category, and we said, hey, not so fast. They're still just pretty good. So I don't know. That I'm way higher on the Rams than you, but maybe maybe some of the stuff that you're saying is starting to come true. What do you think of this game?
This is a gift right here. Green Bay -1
at home,
-110 on the money line in Lambeau, playing a warm weather team that has no offensive line and barely any run game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give me the Packers here.
You don't think Stafford knowing that defense helps at all?
Nope. When you're
you
behind
think
that
the Packers helping knowing Stafford helps them?
I think it could have.
They prepared for Stafford for a couple. I mean, for 10 years straight.
I think it's different though. Like when you're preparing for Stafford in Detroit, it's like, all right, we just got to stop the quarterback. Like his weapons suck. Like you still have to worry about some other guys on this Rams team other than Stafford, but they're going to be all over him in this backfield. I don't see Henderson having a great game, and unless Cooper Kupp goes nuclear, I don't see how they win this game.
It would be like a breakout game from Beckham, a nice game from Van Jefferson. Basically, they win it by being more balanced, right? You got one guy forcing 13 to 16 targets to Devontae Adams, Stafford peppering the ball all around the field. I'm not saying I'm going opposite there here. I'm just throwing out. I think that's how they would.
No, I hear you. I'm not sold. I know you're sold on this Rams team. I know Jay is. Yeah. I'm just not. Their offensive line's old. The run game's kind of non-existent. Mm-hmm. Stafford's looking like Stafford when he did for the Lions. So give me the Packers here.
Yeah, I mean, NBA. Their home field advantage is so strong. I think that could be the difference here. Let's say this game was played in Los Angeles. Would you still like the Packers?
More than likely, yes. I'd love the over even more if it was
then the fact if I'm you and I like the Packers in Los Angeles, like if I'm in this hypothetical situation, it was just -110 on both sides. To lay one at home with one of the best home field advantages in the NFL.
Yes. It's a gift. It's an absolute. It's a early Christmas gift spread.
Well, hey, I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need it. The way my bathroom costs keep going.
Even the Staffords that play for the Rams that quote unquote played in cold weather places. He played in a dome.
Yeah, but he played at Lambeau twice a year.
Yeah, he did. But his majority of his home games were played in a dome. Exactly. Yes, Odell played for Cleveland.
Didn't do very well though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He didn't show you anything there. Like,
I mean, really, he's like one good catch, right?
Cooper Kupp's been playing football on the West Coast his whole career, back to college days. So you're gonna put them in sub-degree weather. Like it could be snowing and like 15 degrees in Green Bay on Sunday.
Hopefully my DFS lineup doesn't look like that. Hey, has there ever been a player that made more off one play than Odell Beckham? I mean, one play. You can make a one-handed catch on Monday Night Football.
Actually, yes, there's one guy.
I got to hear. I knew you could think of someone because there definitely was. I mean,
Malcolm Butler.
Great point. Great point, right?
I had to think about it, and when I thought about it in my head, that play went back in my head as he picked that off.
Yeah.
And it's like that dude got 2 to 3 contracts off of that were pretty
and it was great coaching, right?
Yeah,
and they told
he was a practice squad corner before that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, and this is fun. Here's another one. David Tyree, he says.
Yeah,
but Tyree didn't get the huge contract after that.
Yeah, he kind of just it was the big catch. It's still the highlight. Yeah, but he didn't get anything after that.
Yeah. How about so? Here's Mike. Explain. Feels like a trap, but I'm falling for the bait. Are you talking about taking the Rams, Mike?
No, I think he's talking about.
No, he says yes. He's taking the Rams. Wow. All right. So Tyler likes the Packers. He was pretty convincing. He definitely kept me off the Rams here. But Mike, our guy Mike 87 Kush with the old school Patriots avatar does like the Rams here. So guys, hop in the chat, especially if you agree or disagree.
I love those jerseys they used to wear. It's like I think they were more red and white than they are like their normal jerseys.
Oh yeah, with
Yeah,
the
they need to
stripes
wear
up here.
They need to wear those again.
Dude, you know who has awesome jerseys too that I've always liked since I was a kid is the Bengals. Oh, okay, he says Green Bay.
I thought he was
He's with
talking
you.
about Green Bay.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mike, but hey, we got this figured out. And hey, throw your picks in the chat too, guys. We love to talk, we love the interaction, and it's always fun. And you guys don't realize it really does mean a lot to us to know that you guys are watching the show live with us and giving us support. So I appreciate that. I'm sorry, I was just saying I really like the Bengals uniforms.
Yeah, Bengals uniforms are sick too. The new ones they have.
Yeah, it's too bad that their team isn't getting there, but they might. I mean, obviously a very big win last week. So I don't have a Sunday night game on the board. Is there no Sunday night game this week?
Cleveland, Baltimore. Lines, Baltimore -4, totals
Okay.
45.5.
Oh, and this is the weekly part of the show where I get to make fun of Baker Mayfield. Tyler, so of course the Browns snuck by with a win over the Lions, which
Can I jump off this ship? Like I've been holding up the sign help me for 3 weeks and no one's coming to pick me up. I'm building my raft. I got my volleyball with the face drawn on it.
Yeah, I'll call you Jack and Losh. Just watch out for the smoke monster. Yeah, well, so anyways, you set up for my joke. I was going to say after the victory, Baker Mayfield had this to say: absolutely nothing. He doesn't do press. Have you ever seen that before, Tyler?
No, I've never seen that before. Outside
a quarterback skipping press. Yeah. that's a funny comment.
I was reading that comment. That's why I paused for a minute.
Anyway, so that was my weekly Baker slander, and I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I just don't think he's going to be worthy of the contract that somebody's going to end up giving him. But we will see, and we've talked about it before. It is hard to downgrade his performance. I think one thing that we can criticize though is why who's the management team that's putting him out here?
Yeah, I mean,
you really need if you need Baker Mayfield to beat the Lions, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, somebody needs to just sit him down. You need to sit for 2 to 3 weeks, get healthy. Case Keenum's not going to steal your job.
I know.
Just let him play the few weeks. I think that's what he's worried about. He's if I go sit for a few weeks, I'm going to lose my job because I don't have it secured. But
well, yeah, I don't know. He's probably got the job for the rest of the year, but he's probably thinking about that contract next year, right? But
I think that's the other thing. He's forcing himself out there, but I don't think he realizes he's hurting himself in the long run.
He is, because if you think about it, right, all that's really going to matter is the playoff performance. If he goes out there and he wins 1 or 2 playoff games, he's getting big money. No, and I'm going to be upset.
You just go sit at home and say, I want surgery and I want to be out for the rest of the season. And now they're stuck in the dilemma of we can't let him walk because we're not sure.
Well, they'll franchise him that way, right?
Yeah, they just franchise tag him, so you still get paid for a year.
Yeah, he'll probably get franchised regardless, but
okay.
That ends the Baker Mayfield slander section of this show. Let's move on to the actual game. What'd you say the line was? Ravens -4?
Yeah, Ravens -4, totals 45.5.
Now we expect Lamar Jackson to return, right?
More than likely, yes. Unless that illness hangs around for more than 2 weeks, which I've never been sick for more than 2 weeks. How about you?
Yeah, but I have a terrible immune system and I don't take care of myself, so. But that's just me.
Didn't mean to get all personal there.
No, usually I'd be sick for 3 weeks straight, especially when I worked at UPS. It was terrible. So what did you think of the win with Tyler Huntley, and how do you see this game coming with Lamar Jackson coming back?
It didn't really surprise me as much. I mean, they were matched up with the Bears, and Baltimore they do the one smart thing of we use a running quarterback and we have our offense built around him. His backup's going to be a mirror image of him. Basically, he might not. Of course, he's not going to be as good as him, but
it's like Lamar light, right?
Yeah, he's going to have fast legs. He's going to be able to throw the ball. He's not going to be a pocket passer to where the offense just flips on its head. So they were able to just keep running the normal plays they did. They did enough to get the job done. And Chicago's just so bad, so they were able to sneak out a win.
Yeah.
If he plays again
Cleveland's
this week,
not that bad.
Yeah, if he plays again this week, I think Cleveland's the side here, regardless of who plays quarterback, because Chubb is the running back. He's going to run all over this team.
Oh, that's so I would say last year that was a hot take. The way the Ravens defense has played this year, they're not bad, but they're just not.
Yeah, really they're right in the middle of the pack. So I think Chubb just has his way with them on Sunday night. But if Lamar's in, it's more than likely Baltimore's going to win the game. It could be a close one with this being an interdivision game and having playoff implications.
All right.
So it probably just a complete stay away from me, maybe a jump in live, because we've seen these teams play low-scoring games. We've also seen these two teams just throw defense out the window and just
wasn't that the 45-42 game in primetime last year? I think it was a Thursday night game, right? That was one where Lamar went to the bathroom. And,
he went to the bathroom, came back out, threw a touchdown.
Yeah. So definitely could be a fun game. I think it's a fantastic choice for primetime for this evening. And what did you say? So you have no really thoughts on the total either, and I don't have it up in front of me, so I didn't.
No, I think this is going to be like a live betting game for sure. If you're going to do anything with it.
All right, and our guy, the Sports Keg, will be live.
If I can make one request to the NFL, it'd be flexing that Rams game to Sunday night, the Rams-Packers, and moving Cleveland to the 4:00 slate.
It's too late. They have to give them a week in advance. So what did I read this week? So the 49ers are probably going to be flexed next week.
Them and the Seahawks game is flexed for, I think it's like a Browns-Bengals game or something.
I mean, the 49ers and the Seahawks both aren't. Well, 49ers are okay. Seahawks are just not good this year. Just not good anymore.
We're getting to them next game, or we'll do that show on.
Yeah, Monday. We'll do that on Monday. But if you had like an early number that you think we can attack, you can give it out because I mean we went quicker than I thought, Tyler. I thought with this big slate we would go over an hour. But
I know everyone's going to call it a buy low spot finally on Seattle because they're underdogs. They're +1.
Uh-huh.
Washington -1's the play. I think.
All
I just think they're going to be able to run. They're going to be able to throw. They're going to be able to put points on the board however they want.
All right, you heard it here first. So, quick Monday Night Football. All right, Tyler. Let's go back through. I haven't placed any bets while we're talking. Sometimes I come up with a teaser. Sometimes you really convince me. I didn't place any, and my idea here is on the Packers. It's not getting to 3, right? So I have time to wait and think about that one. Is there any bets that I need to place right now? Especially, let's talk about the Thursday games for Thanksgiving.
Maybe get Carolina before it goes to the key number of 3.
So you do like Carolina enough to bet it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% sold on them as you were, but that number could be when I see moves off of that 2 to 2.5, 3, and then you could be messing with fire.
Yeah, and the obvious teaser that I had chosen, right, and it was it was pretty square, but it was just like choose the 2 favorites, go through the numbers. Patriots and Cowboys, which you said you think there's a chance the Cowboys get upset, right?
I'm not backing a team that doesn't have their wide receivers. I just can't. They could still win the game on
the back. So you're going to back a team that's wide receivers in jail?
They at least still got their other 2 guys.
I know. I'm just messing. Yeah, you set me up for a nice little joke there.
He said he's in jail. He's not in jail, Spray. He's sitting at home playing 2K. They have videos of him playing.
Yeah, did you see? And then he got in trouble for drinking. But I mean, like I would do. Like you're going to spend like. I mean, your life is essentially over.
Yeah.
Just compared to how it was. I mean, it's not over. Obviously, you can get out and like get a job, but it's not going to be the life of an NFL player, right? I mean, he had a chance. He had a chance to really get one of those huge.
Would it surprise you if the NFL lets him back in though? And like he's only 23. Like
yeah,
if he does
but
4
you can't
years,
take that time off. You can't take that time off.
I mean, Vick did it, and he came back with a cannon arm.
Okay, but Michael Vick was like a generational player that was like an MVP candidate. Like Henry Ruggs was like I said,
he just
great value Tyreek Hill.
But just imagine he comes out of jail at like age 27 and he's built like DK. And he's still fast. He just runs down the sideline. Now he could break tackles and doesn't get hurt every time he gets touched.
I think if he does his time, that it's fine. He paid his debt to society. He's looking at up to 20 years. It's a minimum 2, maximum 20. So I don't really know how the lawyer argues that one either.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to argue? I mean, there's no way you're getting out of this one. Okay, so let's talk about this one. Our guy Mike 87 Kush is in the chat. He says he's teasing Tennessee and Green Bay. Let's look. So that would move Tennessee up to what, 12.5? So that's not going through our key numbers. Well, we get through 7 and 10.
And that would be taking Green
That's
Bay
not a
back
typical
to 0.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think that's the big problem. But if he's got him at a pick right now, right, then it becomes viable.
The teaser this week is the AFC East teaser.
Mm-hmm.
Teasing the Patriots down to a pick and the Jets up to 8.5. Because Houston ain't beating them by more than a touchdown if they do beat them.
I guess they could. The Jets are terrible.
Is Houston good?
Well, they got the advantage of quarterback.
Do they though?
Yes.
110%. Like, yes, he has better legs, but like his throwing hasn't shown me shit this year.
But has Zach Wilson not showing you anything?
In the one game he didn't play, a bugging rock solid defense, yes.
Yeah, he had one good play to Corey Davis. All right, so that's interesting. So you think that? Wow. All right, I love doing the show with you and just talking some football there. And I guess so, but I'd say the Texans have a better offensive line. The Jets probably have better receivers. I don't know.
I'd say
Brandon,
they have a better group, but Houston, if you
but
had to
Cooks
pick
has the
one,
best one.
yeah, Cooks is the best one on the field, but
Yeah.
Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, and that group of guys is better than what Houston puts behind.
I agree with you there. So, so they have the advantage at receiver. I'd say they
have the
running back's pretty close.
I think they have the advantage at running back too because they just cut Phillip Lindsay today, so they're down to David Johnson.
Why would they cut him?
I don't know. I'd love to see the Steelers pick him up and offset Najee's workload, though.
Yeah.
Before
why they cut
him?
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Maybe to let him go to a contender. That'd be my only reasoning.
But they kept David Johnson and Burkhead?
Yep, those would be their two guys.
Okay, well, you definitely have the advantage of running back now. All right, defense. Who do you think has the advantage, the D line or the O line for the Texans? I mean, the D line.
I think that Jets defensive line has the advantage.
Okay, and I won't argue through that. I don't know these defenses that well. Secondary, both pretty bad, right?
Yeah, both pretty bad.
Our guy Whack Prescott in the chat. The Chiefs are going to sign Ruggs. They love
just add them to the plethora of track runners they have at wide receiver.
that would be a lot of fun. So we'll see in 2031 or whatever when he gets out. All right, so this is a lot of fun. Any other teasers maybe we could identify right now?
Not that I'm seeing.
What about bringing the Steelers to 10?
I mean, you could do that.
There's a chance they get blown out, though, huh?
Yeah,
that's not safe, huh?
They've already been blown out by this team once. If those two guys on defense are out, like these receivers are going to run rampant for.
Yeah, those Cincinnati could pick up. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not do that. We don't want to bring the Dolphins up, right? They could get blown out. Bills down to pick. Any interest in that?
I don't hate it. I'm seeing 5.5. That's why I didn't have it like on my board as a teaser spot.
Okay.
But if you have a flat 6, I don't hate teasing that down.
I have a flat 6.
I don't hate teasing.
I could do. I like that version of the NFC or AFC.
Yeah, the AFC race. Yeah, there's your AFC teaser. Just switch out the Jets for Buffalo.
All right, yeah, let's do that. All right, so we finally gave him a teaser, and Tyler said, bet the Panthers right now. We don't want that one to get to 3. Any other number that these people need to take advantage of right now?
Not that I'm seeing. I think everything else will stay the same.
I still can't believe you like the Niners over the Vikings, huh? That's going to be a lot of fun. So I can't wait to talk to you, Tyler. A lot of times we're in lockstep here, but we're opposite on a lot of games, so this is going to be fun. But the one that I hope that I'm wrong about, Tyler, is your pick of the Las Vegas Raiders getting the money line upset over the Dallas Cowboys in the afternoon slot. If you're on the West Coast, that'll be your dinner time for you guys on the East Coast. All right, Tyler, this is a lot of fun today. I want to thank everybody in the chat for joining us. Guys, this is really cool. Please like, subscribe, and hey, this video lasts for a little longer, so you're able to share it, right? Some of them you might say, hey, I can't share the NBA rundown, like my buddy that I would send it to. He's at work till 5 o'clock. Games will already tip by then, right? You guys got plenty of time, so we would appreciate it if you share. We'll get even more active in the chat. You can see that I love, interacting with you guys, putting your chats on the screen, and we'll go ahead and give you our feedback right away, whether we agree or disagree. Tyler, anything you want to say before we sign off?
Nope. Just have a good Thanksgiving, everybody, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Tyler and I, of course, have family obligations, but there's people out there in the military traveling, maybe recently divorced, don't know what your situation is, but you don't need to spend Thanksgiving by yourself, because our guy, the Sports Keg CEO, will be live on Thanksgiving, sweating the games, giving out in-play bets. So you can turn a negative into a positive, right? You don't need to be by yourself. You can jump on there with the Keg. He's going to give out those winners. He's going to find them, and you guys can, enjoy that together. I might hop in the chat as well. Of course, I'm pretty excited because we didn't get to do Thanksgiving last year, so I will be with my family. No guarantees I will be able to do that, but if I get some spare time, I will jump in and say hi. But there's another great reason to be subscribed, so you get notified when he goes live. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and run pure.